A perfect life on paper. Maya Reyes stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling windows of her downtown loft, watching the city lights sparkle like diamonds scattered across black velvet. At 28, she had everything she thought she wanted. Her interior design business was thriving, featured in 3 major magazines this year alone. Her loft, which she had designed herself, was a perfect blend of modern elegance and warm comfort. But the crown jewel of her perfect life was Adrian Cole, the man she was going to marry in exactly 3 months. 5 years. They had been together for 5 beautiful years. Maya remembered the day they met at a mutual friend's art gallery opening. Adrian was a young lawyer then, ambitious and charming, with eyes that seemed to see right through to her soul. He told her she was different from other women, that she had substance. He made her feel special in a way no one else ever had. "You're my person," he would whisper to her in the dark. "My forever." And Maya believed him. She believed every word. The best friend who knew everything. Sofia Martinez had been Maya's best friend since college. They were inseparable, the kind of friends who finished each other's sentences and shared everything. Sofia knew Maya's coffee order, her deepest fears, her childhood traumas, and her dreams for the future. When Maya started dating Adrian, Sofia was the first person she told. When Adrian proposed on a beach in Santorini, Sofia was on a video call, crying happy tears. "You deserve this," Sofia had said, wiping her eyes. "You deserve all the happiness in the world, Maya. I'm so happy for you." Sofia was supposed to be the maid of honor. They spent countless hours planning the wedding together, choosing flowers, tasting cakes, laughing until their stomachs hurt. Sofia even helped Maya pick out her wedding dress, a stunning ivory gown that made Maya feel like a princess. Maya trusted Sofia with her life. She never imagined that trust would become the sharpest knife to pierce her heart. The day everything changed. It was a Tuesday evening in September. Maya had left work early, excited to surprise Adrian with his favorite dinner. She stopped by the Italian restaurant he loved and picked up fresh pasta, wine, and tiramisu. As she drove home, she sang along to the radio, planning their evening together. Maybe they would finalize the honeymoon plans. Maybe they would just cuddle on the couch and watch old movies. When she arrived at their shared apartment, Adrian wasn't home. That wasn't unusual. He often worked late at the law firm, chasing partnerships and big cases. Maya set the food on the counter and called him. No answer. She texted him. Nothing. She decided to tidy up while waiting. As she picked up Adrian's jacket from the couch, his phone fell out of the pocket. The screen lit up with a notification. Maya wasn't the type to snoop, but the name on the screen made her freeze. "Sofia, I can't wait to see you tonight." "Same place?" "I've been thinking about you all day." Maya's hands trembled as she unlocked Adrian's phone. She knew his password. He had given it to her freely, another symbol of trust in their relationship. Or so she thought. The messages loaded slowly, each one a dagger to her heart. "Adrian, miss you already. Can't believe we have to pretend for 3 more months. Sofia, I know, baby. But after the wedding, we'll have everything. Her business is worth over $2 million now. The prenup she refuses to sign will work in our favor. Adrian, you're brilliant. I love you. Sofia, love you more." Maya has no idea. She's so trusting, it's almost sad. The restaurant scene. Maya didn't remember getting in her car. She didn't remember driving across town. All she knew was that she had to see it with her own eyes. She had to know if this nightmare was real. The restaurant was an upscale bistro on the west side, the kind of place with dim lighting and private booths. Maya walked in, her heart pounding so hard she thought it might burst through her chest. She scanned the room, praying she wouldn't find them, praying this was all a terrible misunderstanding. Then she saw them. In a corner booth, Adrian and Sofia sat close together, his arm around her shoulders, her head on his chest. They were laughing about something, comfortable and intimate in a way that spoke of long familiarity. Adrian leaned down and kissed Sophia, not a quick peck, but a deep, passionate kiss that made Maya's stomach turn. Maya stood frozen in the doorway, unable to move, unable to breathe. A waiter approached her, but she couldn't hear what he was saying. All she could see was the two people she loved most in the world, wrapped in each other's arms, completely oblivious to her presence. Then Sophia saw her. Their eyes met across the restaurant. For a moment, Sophia's face registered shock, maybe even guilt. But then something changed. Sophia whispered something to Adrian, and he turned to look at Maya. The expression on his face wasn't remorse or shame. It was annoyance, like she was an inconvenience he hadn't planned for. Maya turned and ran. The confrontation. She made it to her car before they caught up with her. Adrian grabbed her arm, spinning her around. Maya, wait. Let me explain. Explain? The word came out as a sob. Explain what? How long have you been sleeping with my best friend? Sophia stood behind Adrian, her arms crossed. She looked different now, harder. 14 months, she said coldly. Since your birthday party last year. The memory hit Maya like a physical blow. Her 27th birthday. Sophia had organized the whole thing, had insisted Maya drink too much, had put her to bed early. You're drunk, sweetie, Sophia had said. Let me help Adrian clean up. Oh God, Maya whispered. That night? While I was passed out in my own home? Adrian had the decency to look uncomfortable. Maya, it just happened. We didn't mean for it to happen, but we fell in love. You were planning this, Maya said, her voice shaking. The wedding, the no prenup, taking my money. This was all a con. It's not like that, Adrian started, but Sophia cut him off. Oh, please. Let's not pretend anymore. Sophia stepped forward, her face cold and beautiful. Yes, Maya. We've been planning this. You were so easy to manipulate, so desperate to believe in your fairy tale. Adrian and I are in love. Real love. Not whatever boring, comfortable thing you two had. I gave you everything, Maya said, tears streaming down her face. Both of you. I trusted you. That was your first mistake, Sophia said. You were always too trusting, too naive. You made it so easy for us. Adrian at least had the grace to look ashamed. Maya, I'm sorry. I never wanted to hurt you. But you did. Maya wiped her tears, something cold and hard settling in her chest. You both did. The breakdown. Maya didn't remember driving home. She didn't remember packing a bag or leaving her apartment. She found herself at a cheap motel on the edge of town, the kind of place where nobody asked questions and the neon sign flickered in the darkness. For 3 days, she didn't leave that room. She lay in bed, staring at the water-stained ceiling, trying to understand how her perfect life had fallen apart so completely. She ignored the calls and texts flooding her phone. She didn't eat. She barely drank water. She just existed in a fog of pain so intense it felt physical. On the 3rd day, there was a knock on the door. Maya ignored it, but the knocking persisted. Finally, she dragged herself out of bed and opened it. An elderly woman stood there, the motel's cleaning lady, with kind eyes and weathered hands. I'm sorry to bother you, dear, she said gently. But I need to clean the room. And honestly, I'm worried about you. I'm fine, Maya said automatically, but her voice cracked. The woman looked at her for a long moment. No, you. Not. And that's okay. But you can't stay in this room forever, punishing yourself for someone else's sins. They destroyed me, Maya whispered. No, baby. They hurt you. But destruction? That's a choice. And you get to decide if you're going to let them destroy you or if you're going to rebuild yourself into something they could never break. The birth of a plan. That night, Maya finally looked at her phone. There were 47 missed calls from Adrian, 63 from Sophia, countless messages from other friends asking where she was. The wedding was in 2.5 months, and everyone was worried. But one message caught her attention. It was from Adrian, sent just this morning. Maya, please answer. We can work this out. I made a mistake. Sophia means nothing. I want you. Please come home. Maya stared at that message for a long time. Then she scrolled up and found another message from yesterday. Baby, I can't wait until this is over. Just keep pretending a little longer. That message was meant for Sophia. Adrian had sent it to Maya by mistake. Something shifted inside Maya. The pain was still there, a deep ache that wouldn't go away. But underneath it, something else was growing. Something cold and sharp and determined. They had played her. They had laughed at her, used her, planned to rob her blind and leave her broken. They thought she was weak, naive, easy to manipulate. Maya looked at herself in the bathroom mirror. Her eyes were red and swollen, her hair a mess, her face pale. She looked like a victim. She looked exactly like the person they thought she was. But she wasn't that person anymore. Maya picked up her phone and typed a message to Adrian. I need time to think. Don't contact me. I'll reach out when I'm ready. Then she blocked both their numbers. She opened her laptop and started making lists. She researched lawyers, accountants, private investigators. She looked up business courses, therapy options, personal trainers. She created spreadsheets and timelines and plans. If they wanted to play games, she would learn the rules. And then she would rewrite them. The vow. As the sun rose on the 4th day, Maya checked out of the motel. She looked at herself one last time in the mirror. They wanted to destroy you, she said to her reflection. Let's show them what destruction really means. She drove back to the city with a clear mind and a cold heart. The old Maya, the trusting, naive Maya who believed in love and loyalty, was gone. In her place was someone new. Someone stronger. Someone who would make them both regret the day they decided to betray her. The wedding was in 2.5 months. Maya smiled to herself. That was plenty of time. Her revenge was just beginning. Part 2, The Transformation, 2,000 words. 6 months of silence. When Maya returned to her apartment, Adrian was waiting outside. He looked terrible, unshaven and exhausted, wearing the same clothes he'd had on 3 days ago. Maya, thank God. I've been so worried. Please, can we talk? Maya walked past him without a word, unlocked her door, and closed it in his face. Through the door, she could hear him begging, promising, explaining. She turned on music to drown out his voice and started packing his belongings into boxes. By morning, everything Adrian owned was stacked in the hallway. Maya changed the locks. She sent a single text message, your things are outside. If you contact me again, I'll file for a restraining order. Then she disappeared. Maya took a leave of absence from her design business, leaving her assistant in charge of current projects. She told everyone she was dealing with a family emergency and needed time away. She didn't answer calls. She didn't respond to messages. She simply vanished from her old life. But Maya wasn't hiding. She was transforming. The physical transformation. Maya joined an exclusive gym in a different part of the city, the kind of place where celebrities and business moguls worked out at 5 in the morning. She hired a personal trainer, Marcus Chen's sister, Jade, who was known for transforming people's bodies and minds. I want to be unrecognizable, Maya told Jade on their first day. I want to become someone completely different. Jade looked at her with knowing eyes. Someone hurt you? Yes. Good. Use that anger. Channel it into every push-up, every mile you run, every weight you lift. Pain is temporary, but strength is forever. Maya trained 6 days a week. She ran until her lungs burned and her legs shook. She lifted weights until her muscles screamed. She learned boxing, kickboxing, and self-defense. With every drop of sweat, she felt the old Maya dying and someone new being born. She changed her diet completely, working with a nutritionist to fuel her transformation. She cut her long hair into a sleek, sophisticated bob. She got contact lenses to replace her glasses. She updated her wardrobe, replacing her comfortable, practical clothes with powerful, elegant pieces that commanded attention. By month 3, Maya had lost 20 pounds of softness and gained lean, defined muscle. Her posture changed. She walked differently, with confidence and purpose. She moved through the world like she owned it. The mental transformation. But the physical changes were only the beginning. Maya knew that to truly transform, she needed to change her mind as well. She hired Dr. Sarah Chen, one of the city's top therapists, who specialized in trauma recovery. In their sessions, Maya unpacked years of people-pleasing behavior, of making herself small to make others comfortable, of trusting too easily and loving too much. "You taught people how to treat you," Dr. Chen said during one session. "By always giving, always forgiving, always accommodating. You taught them that your boundaries didn't matter." "So this is my fault?" Maya asked bitterly. "No. What they did is their fault. Their choices, their cruelty, their betrayal. That's all on them. But how you respond now? That's your choice. You can be a victim, or you can be a victor. The decision is yours." Maya chose victory. She enrolled in online business courses through a prestigious university, studying finance, strategic planning, and negotiation. She read books on psychology, learning how people manipulate and how to recognize manipulation tactics. She studied body language, persuasion techniques, and social dynamics. She learned about her enemies. She hired a private investigator who discovered that Adrian's law firm was involved in several ethically questionable deals, that Sophia had lied about her credentials on multiple job applications, that both of them had debts they were hiding. Knowledge, Maya learned, was the most powerful weapon of all. The business empire. In month 4, Maya returned to work. But she didn't return as the same person. She walked into her office like a queen returning to her kingdom, and everyone noticed the change immediately. Maya, her assistant, Jessica, gasped. "Oh my God, you look amazing." "Thank you," Maya said smoothly. "Jessica, cancel all my small projects. I'm only taking high-profile clients from now on. And schedule meetings with the 3 biggest firms in the city. It's time to expand." Maya threw herself into work with a focus she'd never had before. She stopped being nice and started being effective. She negotiated harder, charged more, and delivered results that exceeded expectations. Within 2 months, her business had doubled in revenue. She landed a contract to design the penthouse of Marcus Chen, a billionaire investor who owned half the commercial real estate in the city. Marcus was 35, devastatingly handsome, and known for being ruthless in business. He was exactly the kind of connection Maya needed. Their first meeting was in his current penthouse, a beautiful space with a terrible design. Marcus sat behind his desk, barely looking up from his phone. "You have 15 minutes to impress me. Go." Maya didn't hesitate. "Your current space is beautiful and completely soulless. It looks like a hotel room, not a home. You have unlimited money but no vision. That's why you need me." Marcus finally looked up, one eyebrow raised. "Bold." "Honest," Maya corrected. "I don't need this job, Mr. Chen. I'm doing very well. But you need someone who will tell you the truth instead of what you want to hear. That's what I offer." Marcus smiled for the first time. "You're hired. When can you start?" Entering their lives again. It was month 5 when Maya orchestrated her return to Adrian and Sophia's world. She knew they would be attending the annual charity gala, the city's biggest social event. Adrian's law firm always bought a table. Sophia, who worked in public relations, would be there networking. Maya bought a ticket. She bought the most expensive dress she could find, a stunning red gown that hugged her new figure perfectly. She hired a stylist for her hair and makeup. When she looked in the mirror the night of the gala, she barely recognized herself. The old Maya was gone. In her place stood a woman who looked like she belonged on magazine covers. Marcus Chen was her date. It had started as a business arrangement, Maya needing someone powerful and impressive on her arm. But over the weeks of designing his space, they had become friends. He knew about her past, about her plan for revenge. "Are you sure you want to do this?" Marcus asked as they pulled up to the gala in his limousine. "I've never been more sure of anything in my life," Maya replied. They walked into the ballroom together, and heads turned. Maya held her head high, her hand resting lightly on Marcus's arm. She scanned the room with calm, cold eyes, looking for her targets. She found Sophia first. Her former best friend stood near the bar, wearing a pretty but forgettable blue dress. Sophia was talking to someone, laughing too loud, trying too hard. When Sophia saw Maya, her face went white. Maya smiled and waved, then turned away as if Sophia didn't matter at all. Adrian was harder to spot. She finally found him in a corner, talking to senior partners from his firm. He looked good, she admitted. Still handsome in his expensive suit. But when he saw Maya, his champagne glass nearly slipped from his hand. He stared at her like he was seeing a ghost. Then he started walking toward her. The first conversation. "Maya?" Adrian stopped in front of her, his eyes scanning her face in disbelief. "Is that really you?" "Adrian," Maya said coolly. "It's been a while. You look. I mean, what happened to you?" "I grew up," Maya said simply. She turned to Marcus. "Marcus, this is Adrian Cole. We used to know each other." "Adrian, this is Marcus Chen." Adrian's eyes widened as he recognized the name. Everyone in the city knew Marcus Chen. "It's an honor, sir," Adrian said, extending his hand. Marcus shook it with a grip just a little too firm. "Maya's told me about you." Adrian paled slightly. "She has?" Nothing good." Marcus's smile didn't reach his eyes. "Excuse us, we need to find our table." As they walked away, Maya could feel Adrian's eyes on her back. She could feel Sophia's too. Let them watch. Let them wonder. Let them realize that the woman they thought they'd destroyed had risen from the ashes like a phoenix. The game had begun. Planting seeds of doubt. Over the next few weeks, Maya made sure she and Adrian kept crossing paths. She attended events she knew he would be at. She made strategic appearances at restaurants and clubs. Always with Marcus. Always looking stunning. Always appearing happy and successful. She would smile at Adrian warmly, speak to him kindly, and then walk away before he could say too much. She was friendly but distant, like an old acquaintance she barely remembered. It was driving him crazy. She could see it in his eyes, in the way he watched her, in the increasingly desperate texts he sent that she sometimes answered and sometimes ignored. "You look happy," he texted one night. I am, she replied simply. "Are you and Marcus?" "That's none of your business, Adrian. We're not together anymore, remember? That was a mistake. The biggest mistake of my life." Maya stared at that text for a long moment. 6 months ago, those words would have made her cry with joy. Now they just made her cold. "Mistakes have consequences," she typed back. Then she blocked his number again. But Sophia was the real target. Maya knew that Adrian's betrayal had been enabled by Sophia's manipulation. Sophia was the architect of this whole plan. And Sophia was about to discover that Maya could be an architect too. Maya started feeding information to Sophia's employer, subtle hints about inconsistencies in her resume. She arranged for Sophia to be passed over for a major promotion, using her connections to ensure someone else got the job. She began systematically dismantling Sophia's professional reputation, one careful move at a time. And all the while, she let Adrian get closer. She let him think he might have a chance. She let him believe that maybe, just maybe, she could forgive him. It was almost too easy. The warning from Marcus. One evening, after a long day of work, Marcus invited Maya to his newly finished penthouse. The space was stunning, a perfect blend of luxury and comfort that reflected both their visions. "You did amazing work here," Marcus said, pouring them both wine. "But I'm not talking about the design." Maya looked at him questioningly. "I'm talking about your revenge plan," Marcus said. "I've watched you these past few months. The way you've transformed yourself, the way you're strategically dismantling their lives. It's impressive. But I have to ask, is it making you happy?" Maya was silent for a moment. "Does it matter?" "Yes," Marcus said gently. "Because I've walked this path before, Maya. After my wife left me for my business partner, I spent 2 years destroying them both. I won. I took everything from them. And at the end, when they were broke, and I was standing victorious, do you know what I felt?" "What?" "Empty. Because revenge doesn't heal wounds. It just creates new ones." Maya felt tears prick her eyes for the first time in months. "They hurt me, Marcus. They used me and laughed at me and tried to steal from me. I know. And they deserve consequences. I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying, make sure you know what you're really after. Is it revenge? Or is it healing? Because those are two very different things." Maya wiped her eyes. "I don't know anymore." Marcus pulled her into a hug, and for the first time since the betrayal, Maya let herself be vulnerable. She cried against his chest, releasing months of pain and anger and hurt. "Whatever you decide," Marcus said softly, "I'm here. Not as part of your plan. But as your friend." Maya pulled back and looked at him. Really looked at him. Marcus Chen, billionaire investor, ruthless businessman, had become her closest friend without her even realizing it. And the way he was looking at her now wasn't part of any plan. It was real. "Thank you," she whispered. "Now," Marcus said, his tone lightening. "Are we going to finish destroying them? Because if we're doing this, let's do it right." Maya laughed, a real laugh that felt good. "I thought you just warned me about revenge." "I did. But I'm also not going to let anyone get away with hurting someone I care about." "So, what's the next move?" Maya smiled, and it was a smile that would have terrified Adrian and Sophia if they could have seen it. "I thought you'd never ask." "The trap closes." It was a cold November evening, exactly 1 year after Maya had discovered the betrayal, when Adrian showed up at her apartment unannounced. Maya had been expecting this. She had been carefully orchestrating every move, every encounter, every conversation for months. Now it was time for the final act. She answered the door wearing comfortable clothes, her hair pulled back, looking beautiful even in her casual state. "Adrian. What are you doing here?" "I need to talk to you," he said desperately. "Please, Maya. Just 5 minutes." She hesitated, pretending to consider. Then she stepped aside. 5 minutes. Adrian walked into the apartment he had once shared with her. It looked different now, redecorated completely, with no trace of him left. "The place looks good," he said. "Thank you. What did you want to talk about?" Adrian turned to face her, and she could see the desperation in his eyes. "I made a terrible mistake. The worst mistake of my life. Sophia and we're not together anymore." "I know," Maya said calmly. "I heard." "You did?" "It's a small city, Adrian. People talk." What she didn't tell him was that she had engineered their breakup, planting seeds of jealousy and doubt, making sure they destroyed each other from the inside. "I never loved her," Adrian said. I loved you. I still love you. What we did to you was unforgivable, I know that. But I'm asking you to forgive me anyway. Please, Maya. Give me another chance. Maya looked at him for a long moment. A year ago, this was all she would have wanted. To hear him say he was sorry, that he still loved her, that he wanted her back. But now, looking at him, she felt nothing but cold satisfaction. Why should I? She asked. Because we were good together. Because we had 5 years of history. Because I know you still love me. I can see it in your eyes. What you see in my eyes isn't love, Adrian. But you're right about one thing. We do have history. So let me tell you a story about our history. The recordings. Maya walked to her desk and pulled out her laptop. Do you remember that night? The night I found out about you and Sophia? Of course you do. But what you don't remember is that I recorded the entire conversation at the restaurant.